This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Well, good morning to you. It is First Alert Weather Breakdown time. I am your host and your DJ, Evan Thomason. Just kidding. I'm just a meteorologist sitting in a chair. Anyways, welcome on. I am, here to do First Alert Weather Breakdown time. It is Thursday. Welcome on. It's a sunny day, and for today, you might want to make the most of that before we do have rain coming back into the forecast here later on. But I will say today is probably the best of days weather-wise for us here in the Arklatex and for those of us down south dealing with the historic storm. Overall, it's getting warmer, a little more comfortable in the atmosphere. First time in the Arklatex that we've gotten above 50 degrees today. That's right, we're getting high temperatures above 50 degrees today. For the first time in, actually I haven't looked up the research on this, but I want to say it's the first time we've reached 50 degrees in almost a week. Let's see, because the bitter cold came in on Sunday. So, Saturday. First time since Saturday. It's been 4 days? 4 days, yes. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we all had high temperatures below 50 degrees, well below 50 degrees. Thankfully, today, we have high temperatures peaking back up to the low 50s, most likely here for this afternoon. So, again, not just for us is that giving us more comfortable temperatures, but guess what? The snowcation down in south of here into southern Louisiana is coming to an end. Most of that snow obviously happened on Tuesday. Most of it stayed around yesterday with freezing temperatures. Now today is the big melting day. They're expecting lots of sunshine into southern Louisiana. I even saw on the 7-day forecast for New Orleans next week. Next week, their high temperature is peaking all the way up to 70 degrees again in the middle of next week. So, yeah, that snow is going to be quickly melting throughout the next couple of days. But that's good, especially for those of you traveling into South Louisiana. The interstate's still shut down. Still shut down, even now, because of the abundant ice and snow that still remains there in place. Today just begins that kind of melting process down there. And I'm extensively going into this because our Met Chat is today. Our Met Chat goes all into the winter storm that happened down south on Tuesday. So let's bring this up, shall we? We have a warmer forecast in store here for today. That's our big headline here, at least for your Thursday. The big headline long-term is rain coming back. We'll get to that in just a moment. As for our Met Chat, yes, it will. For those of you who don't know what a Met Chat is, it essentially involves more than just myself. It's everybody from the KSLA First Alert Weather Team, all four meteorologists here with KSLA News 12, me, Evan Thomason, CJ Cartledge, Austin Evans, and Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones. All four of us get together for a chat once a week. This week we talked about the historic winter storm, and it's a good chat. It's a good lengthy chat. So I got to get done with this and get into the forecast here real quick because that usually takes up a good chunk of time, but guys always seem to love it. I always do too as well, especially getting together with all three of them. Just so you know, that Met Chat is probably the only time I see Matt Jones. I know I see him virtually on that Met Chat, but it's the only time I see him, period, almost every week, just because of our deferring schedules. I made the joke in one Met Chat that I think when I'm asleep, Matt Jones is giving his forecast, and when Matt is asleep, I'm giving my forecast on air, essentially, is what I mean. So we have deferring schedules, to say the least. He still doesn't get into work, I think, for another 4 hours. And this is the tail end of my shift, essentially. Anyways, let's get on to the local forecast here. It's a beautiful outlook. My goodness, we have some nice sights for you on the Matthews Landscape and Pest Camera here today. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine all the way around. You don't even see any cloud cover that could give us any chance of wet weather here for the day today. So that's looking great. In store here for your Tuesday. It's Thursday. It's not Tuesday. Wrong T-Day. Glad it's Thursday. I actually think it should be Friday, but yeah, it's just me. Window World Camera and Texarkana shows you the same thing. Man, yeah. Still no cloud cover up north near there. Overall, lots of sunshine around here in the Arklatex. Temperatures are up into the 40s today. And just so you know, it's 10:30. We have temperatures in the mid-40s These were our high temperatures yesterday afternoon. We still have plenty of hours of daylight left, probably about 6 or so, maybe 7, left to increase the temperatures into the afternoon. So certainly warmer by comparison to earlier this week. Overall, here's what's happening throughout the long-term period. We have our cold polar Arctic air slowly but surely slipping away, and you'll find that more and more even into this weekend too. It doesn't come close to us. So as a result, we have a nice warm jet stream coming out of the south and west here over the next several days and even into next week that helps to maintain our warm temperatures all the way into next Tuesday and Wednesday. So guess what? For the next week stretch, we continue to maintain similar temperatures. We warmed up into today to highs in the 50s, and most of our 7-day forecast is 50 degrees or 50s overall as our high temperatures each and every day, as our polar vortex, our Arctic cold air, kind of just stays tucked into the north and east away from us. That is the point. So you'll have highs today, again up to 53 in Shreveport, 54 into Texarkana, 53 in Coshada. Natchitoches, also 54 degrees. Here for this afternoon. Then heading on into, there we go. My graphics had a little hiccup there. But anyways, again, the point is we maintain these high temperatures in the 50s for the next several days as well. High 56 still by Monday. As for the skies, this is our big headline here for the long-term future, because short-term, it's remaining sunny. Thursday, rest of the day, into Friday, all that's looking great for the next 2 days. Enjoy the sunshine again while it lasts. Saturday, we have cloud cover coming back in. Sunday morning, that's when rain showers start to form. We're expected to have scattered and widespread rain showers throughout the entire day on Sunday. And that's going to lead into more rain chances for next week. Rain chances that'll look to drive our rain totals between Sunday and early next week up to 2 to 3 inches in some areas. Overall, the entire Arklatex looks to at least get an inch of rain, even those who have less chances of rain up into DeQueen and north of Texarkana. So our first round of scattered storms is coming into the region here on your Sunday. So if there's a better day to pick here for the weekend, it's certainly going to be Saturday. So Sunday, round number 1 of scattered storms comes on into the Arklatex. Then round number 2 comes quickly after that, filtering into the region on Wednesday. Even then, Monday and Tuesday still pose 20% chances of some stray rain showers still lingering around for early next week, too. Overall, it is a wet and warm forecast. We welcomed in the warmer temperatures back into the Arklatex here starting today, but we at least put a pause onto our moisture coming back in the region here until late into the weekend. And again, that's going to start to be a lot more into effect here heading into next work week, too. And keep in mind, again, that's only going to be rain showers, especially with how much we're warming up. Last thing, I didn't really mention too much about that 7-day forecast, but we're maintaining cold morning temperatures in for the next 2 mornings. Our morning low temperatures are also increasing. That did so today. It's going to do so again for the weekend. Our morning lows are only going to get down into the 40s, actually. Only down into the 40s here starting on Sunday morning and carrying on in the next work week with those highs being, again, sustained in those 50s. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I know there's a little bit of quick forecast. If you have any questions for us, YouTube, that's your way to ask us questions here on First Alert Weather Breakdown. We have a lengthy Met chat to get to, and we're going to talk about the winter storm that just happened. Lots of great detail, lots of records broken that we go over as well. We'll see you on that Met chat, and I will see you after that recording. That recording is going to start playing after this 2-minute commercial break. We'll see you after this. Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason here with Austin Evans, CJ Cartledge, and Matt Jones. All right, guys, we're in Shreveport. It's been a wild January, honestly, just in general. We've been talking about two massive snowstorms coming on through, honestly. The first one hit up into Arkansas and also Oklahoma, missed Shreveport. The next one hits Texas and Louisiana, still misses Shreveport. First thought, are you a snow fan or are you not a snow fan? Are you glad to see that it's not happened here? Or you what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm like a little bummed. I like a good snowstorm. However, I like a good snowstorm in a place that can handle it, like up north where they have the equipment. Here, not so much because they would, yeah, this place would be shut down for like a week.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a cold weather enjoyer typically. However, not a fan of the precip that cold weather brings. Snow is annoying to deal with, especially down here. And though places up north are better equipped for it, there's a limit to that. But once you start getting above a foot, they start, having issues too. So I'm not really all that sad that it keeps missing us, at least so far. And hey, historic snowstorm for New Orleans.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm a snow lover too. I come from the Northeast. I grew up in the Northeast, so we pretty much got snow every year, if not every other year. Most of the years that I have been living up in the Northeast, we have received snow every single year, and I've been grateful for it every single time. But here in Shreveport, just like Matt and Austin have said, I like snow in places that can handle it. We don't have many snow trucks down here, if any. But it's definitely good to see the scenery when it snows, as well as just being outside, looking at everything around, and just seeing the snow fall on you and other cars and other things. I like the scenery. Not so much how it feels, but I do like this, like looking at snow for sure.
Just those pictures from Bourbon Street, and you got people walking down the street holding their daiquiris, going, what, what's going on? So that picture alone has been worth all of this.
Yeah,
Because I mean, who'd have thought that would be a picture that
crazy,
we would take today?
crazy.
It, it's worth 1,000 words, and certainly be worth over a century of history. My goodness,
Wow.
breaking all the record books. Before we get into some of the records, because I know we got several. First of all, just my thoughts on the snow. I love snow myself, especially when it comes to recreating in it. I'm a big fan of snowball fights, snowman, sledding, skiing. I mean, you name it, anything just playing with snow. I'm a big fan of it. I also love the sight. I love pictures of them as well. I mean, all the stuff that we saw on Bourbon Street. There was so many things on social media, obviously in so many homes, but also seeing downtown New Orleans just lit up with the snow on the walks in the French Quarter and Jackson Square. Man, legendary. That was some amazing stuff to see. But then
Hmm.
once you get to the, I guess, how it affects like your lifestyle, like economic impacts, like your school, work, still having to drive through that to go get to it. The point is having to drive and having to transport through snow. That's when that becomes a nightmare for me, personally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's like the snow is fun for the day it's falling. Like in New Orleans, like everyone's having so much fun yesterday, but now that city's going to be probably paralyzed for the next 2 to 3 days because it's turning into a sheet of ice and there's no way to remove it, and it's going to keep refreezing night after night after night. So it was fun yesterday, or whenever we're recording this the day prior,
yeah,
and
it was fun on Tuesday.
yeah, so it's going to be a mess from here on out till it melts.
Yeah. Real quick before
And
we
that's going to
go
be a
ahead.
mess too. It
Oh yeah,
melts.
absolutely. I was gonna say real quick before we get to some actual facts. One thing I do want to go over is CJ. You did make it out to the one portion of the Arcotex that did have snow actually from this system
A
yesterday.
little bit.
Just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
How was your experience down there? You said you loved it though.
I loved it. I love every single bit of it. We got there at what 4 in the morning and stayed out there until 7 in the morning.
I went to
Before we
Natchitoches.
finally, yeah, in Natchitoches. This was the southern parts of the Arklatex. Where I was in downtown Natchitoches near the Cane River Lake. I was right beside the Cane River Lake, and most areas along the Cane River Lake only got like 3/10 of an inch, maybe a half an inch at the most. But the
Mhm.
most that I saw that was reported in Natchitoches Parish was about an inch, and the totals kept going down as like day by day as we got closer and closer to this event. I was just like, dang, it's not about to be anything down there.
No.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting to go down there, but when management told me to go down there, I was like, oh, I am ready for this. I am ready to talk about it. And I was super excited to go down there, and it was an absolutely fun experience, especially like talking to people that were down there and excited to see snow again. One person had said they haven't seen snow in that area in around 15, 20 years. Because they were moving back and forth. It may not be the actual last time they saw snow, but that was the last time they have seen snow in that area themselves.
Oh,
So yes, it was definitely a great experience. I can't wait to do another one if there is another one. Hopefully there is, so I can go down there and do it again. I will do that experience over and over again and continue to strengthen my skills in talking about the weather live on air too. So definitely a great experience for me.
nice.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild. So, oh man, I guess tailoring that to kind of the facts and historical records that we had broken with this storm. First of all, this hit so many areas besides just Louisiana, and I don't think that's going to be underappreciated a lot. I remember on the radar walking in yesterday morning and seeing snow all the way down. I mean, there were winter weather warnings on the Texas Mexico border in Brownsville. We're seeing snow in Corpus Christi and
It's
San
crazy.
Antonio and Houston throughout southern
Yeah,
Louisiana.
our colleague here, Donna Kia, one of our reporters, she's from Houston. She told me yesterday how she's seeing all of her friends and family uh, back home from college and whatnot, having fun playing in the snow. And she's like, "And we got nothing." I'm like, "Eh, it works out that way sometimes."
And the first ever blizzard warning was issued for Louisiana, like ever, I think. And it was
First one
also
ever.
right along I-10, which is insane. That is so crazy.
Yeah, that's
It
usually
was
what part of that's one of the hottest parts of the country in the summertime, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
It can be,
typically. I
Hottest.
yeah.
mean, and
Yeah.
honestly, they honestly looking back at the video and the everything I was seeing from yesterday, I feel like the National Weather Service should have extended that blizzard warning into New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans had complete blizzard conditions like the entire. I don't know why they never issued a blizzard warning, honestly, but
Mhm.
Maybe the wind didn't get up there or something.
it was like 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts in New Orleans.
Some
Wow.
some criteria wasn't checked off, and we know that sometimes they can be a
I don't
little
know.
touchy about pressing those buttons.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've lived in New York. I've lived in Illinois. Never experienced any sort of blizzard warning. Had snowstorm warnings in New
Really?
York before they got rid of them.
Huh.
My first winter there, I saw snow squall warnings, and they were really cool actually. Um, but then didn't get them again because they got rid of them the following winter. But yeah, I guess this is the state. Other than maybe situations in Kentucky that I just don't remember, this is the first time I've lived in a state with a blizzard warning.
Really? Wow.
That I
Mm.
know of. That I know of.
Huh.
Maybe there were situations in like farther upstate New York, like near Utica or whatever,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have been privy to. But yeah, lots of snow in a weird place because I said it, and I know this kind of pulls the curtain back a little bit when we say the north side of a storm. So on the north side of a winter storm, that's where the rain is most likely to happen.
You mean snow?
And we're
Sorry, you said
um,
north side of.
we were on the north side. Yeah, no, you're right. Then that's my bad. Where the snow is most likely to happen, but
Right.
it was so far to the south, and Shreveport and south of it, there's not, in the grand scheme of things, not a whole lot of room. there's, not a whole
Mhm.
lot of room to be farther south than where we're sitting, and we were still so far north of the center of that storm that we got nothing,
Crazy.
nothing.
I have some other good comparisons as well that I've seen all over social media. Did you know that New Orleans, from this system alone, has picked up more snowpack and more snowfall than I can confirm Madison, Wisconsin, South Dakota, and Boston? All three of those cities have received less snow than what New
That's
Orleans
crazy.
received yesterday.
For the
Especially
Yeah.
season?
For the
especially the
season. The
Wisconsin one.
Oh
entire
my
season.
gosh.
Wow.
I'll repeat that again. For the entire season, South Dakota, Madison, Wisconsin, and Boston, all of those areas have received
That's crazy.
less snow so far this winter than New Orleans did from yesterday alone.
And
And
go ahead.
no, and I was just gonna say, and as the season's on its decline now, we're entering, we're a little closer to February than I'd like to admit, but we're getting there. And the winter's going to come to an end pretty quickly. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
wonder if that stat will hold up.
I don't know. But New
Temp-
Orleans, wasn't the official total, I believe, 8 inches in New Orleans, which that's what I saw from their National Weather
I think
Service.
it was up to 10.
Oh, is it?
If I'm
As of
not
last night, it was
mistaken.
8, but maybe it's gone up more. But yeah, as of last night, I think the National Weather Service said 8. It might be more now. But regardless, it's the biggest storm New Orleans has had since like 1895, which is absolutely crazy. And I was talking to you guys before we started this chat. Like Florida, Pensacola Beach, like the beaches had 5 to 10 inches of snow last night, which is insane. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I was going to mention how far this storm carries out. It goes through southern Mississippi, goes through southern Alabama. Keep in mind, again, this is the same system that still went through Corpus Christi, Texas.
Started.
It continued through Florida. It continued through southern Georgia. Early this morning, it was still producing snow in Charleston, South Carolina, way off into the Carolinas on the beach there. An absolute
Crazy.
bonkers storm. You could see that on so many beaches. It's honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to see on some of those beach photos because I can't tell the difference between
Yeah, the
sand
sand's
and
Sand.
white.
Yeah. Yeah.
just based on the coloration of the whole thing. So
Yeah. But
Well,
that
and
whole I-10 area,
Matt
man.
showed me a
tell
picture
you-
yesterday of a bunch of palm trees surrounded by snow. I can't remember where that picture was. It
Probably
was
New
like
Orleans, I guess.
maybe you told me it was like Gulf Coast, Mississippi, or Alabama. I
Oh,
don't know.
maybe so, yeah. It's crazy though, like to think of snow on the beach doesn't like compute in my head, but also that whole I-10 corridor. And if you guys were looking at the forecast models leading up to this storm, like this storm pretty much outperformed all the models. It was like the highest end possibilities that happened. And I've seen lots of reports now, like just, amateur reports, people putting this measuring stick in of like 12 to 14 inches of snow around Lafayette and Baton Rouge. It's crazy.
the last thing I want to go over is first for like phrases on air yesterday. I think from all of us. I like my personal favorite that I used was it's not snowing here, but it's snowing everywhere else in Louisiana right now. That was a good first one, I think. If
Pretty
you all have
much.
any first that you think you've ever said first time on air from the system about the snow down south?
I mean, I
Yeah,
did say
blizzard
it was a
warning.
rib on. It was
Yeah.
a rib on us. It was a big old practical joke on us because the system didn't make any sense,
No,
or its location didn't make any sense, I should say. But
it's so crazy. Yeah.
it just the weather can surprise you. That's why we're predicting it. That's why we're not controlling it.
Hmm.
True.
That's wild. But yeah, blizzard warning. This obviously this system will go down in history. What a storm. What a system. Can't wait to
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how long this is. Obviously, the effects again are still ongoing, especially with I think as of this recording. I'm recording this on Wednesday. Believe it's still like 80% of I-10 is completely shut down. 80% of I-10 is shut down in Louisiana as a whole. I
Wow.
think there's only a tiny section in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans that's open, and that's it.
And we
And
should
there's a
mention
lot of overpasses and bridges, right?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Those are
overpasses and
closest.
bridges.
Yeah, those are close too.
Yeah, as of this recording as well, the three closest bridges to New Orleans across the Mississippi Bridge. I was literally just talking about with CJ. The three closest bridges, which really connect New Orleans together between the banks, because obviously New Orleans is built along the river, and there's a huge populace on both sides of the river, and the bridges really connect them together. Sorry, I'm a New Orleans native. I know this. But anyways, as of right now, this recording, three of the bridges that are close to New Orleans are all shut down. Three of them. The closest bridge that's open is about a 45-minute drive away from New Orleans. It is, yeah. If you want to try to go anywhere through the back roads and try any of those shenanigans to actually drive out in this, you'd have to go 45 minutes away, even if you're just on the other side of the river from New Orleans, which many people are.
Wow. And before we wrap this up, briefly want to just mention also how record-setting the cold is, because I just heard this morning that I think it was Lafayette had an overnight low of 4 last night, which is like the coldest they have
Ugh.
ever been, ever, which is
Oh
insane.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I think
That
I
was
saw
the-
a crazy picture, and I don't know, I can't verify it, but I did think it was rather interesting. It was a picture of a Florida beach, and the air temperature was like 29, and the water temperature was like in the 60s.
I was wondering what the ocean temperature is down there. I was actually wondering that question.
Fairly warm still.
Hmm.
Man.
Well, it won't be for long.
Yeah. So really cool winter storm. Thanks for recapping
Yep.
that with me, guys. Let's get to the question, which Matt kind of brought a hint as to what the question is going to be on. This is Ask the Text. Essentially, we ask our three contestants here, CJ, Austin, and Matt. I am just the man with the question. We ask them a trivia question at the end of each of these Met chats. We total them up. We've done one so far this year. We restarted this year. The one person who is in the lead to start off the year is CJ. CJ, on the board first. First question. Nice. He's got to keep that lead. We'll see. Anyways, question for today. First of all, I just, we set up this, I set up questions overall based on a completely different topic. We went into this discussion, not going to lie, on Met Chat and said we were going to talk about something else. But then we were like, hey, this winter storm, really impactful. Let's talk about this. So quick winter question for today in the trivia question section of Tom is, what was the feels like temperature this morning in Shreveport? What was the lowest the feels like temperature that Shreveport went to this morning? Just this morning. Guess what? I will go ahead and give you a hint. It was the coldest morning this winter. The coldest morning this winter in the Arklatex, definitely by far, was this morning out of all of winter. And this is just, time-wise, this is for Wednesday. This is for Wednesday morning. What was the feels like temperature that Shreveport went down to? I think it sustained this feels like temperature. I think between, I want to say, I think it was between 7 and 8. I think it was for an entire hour.
I'm going to say 5.
I would say 6. I was going to say around that single digit mark too.
Austin.
I'm trying to remember. I know what our forecast low overnight was. I would say like probably 10.
The forecasted low this morning, I believe, went down to 16. That's the forecasted low.
I
That's
lowered
what it
it last
actually went
night.
down to.
Yeah.
The feels like temperature went down to 7.
Oh.
Congratulations, CJ. He
Damn.
is 2 for 2.
I was unaware that Matt monkeyed with the numbers.
I did at 9:45 last night when I saw how fast we were dropping. I was like, "Yep." Good.
When I left yesterday, our forecast low was 19.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The
Yep.
actual temperature this morning, I believe, went as low as 16.
That's
the actual
rough.
low. If
That's
you want to
rough.
use that.
That's rough, buddy.
So we're recording this just so you know before Austin's about to go on air and before Matt goes on air later today. So if you want to use that for reference in your weathercast later today, just to tell people how brutally cold it was this morning, I certainly felt it. Real quick before we end this chat, the heat wasn't on in the studio at all this morning on top of everything happening.
Nor is it ever.
Me, Steven, and Dom were all huddling together,
Yep.
like next to space heaters. It was like the
Yeah.
studio's normally cold, but it was so much worse this morning.
Is it better now?
Matt and I are not really.
Great.
Matt and I
Well,
often talk about, it's so cold in here, but we can put on the jacket, whatever. Once you get into the show, you really don't notice. But
right.
I'm still glad that we have AC. If I had to pick between AC and heat in there, I'm glad
AC.
we have AC because like y'all out there don't need to see me sweating on TV.
Just see his hair dripping. See the sweat
After a
building.
while, it's everything. Everything's going wrong. Everything.
All right, that's the end of this Met Chat. Thanks, guys, for joining. I'm gonna go ahead and hint to next week's Met Chat. I think we're gonna go ahead and talk about wildfires for everything happening over in I was about to say Louisiana. Everything happening over in
Couple years
Los
ago.
Angeles, the other LA. Obviously, it's quite devastating what's happening over there, but it's still ongoing. It's the problem. We're gonna go over the kind of the weather and the science of it all kind of next week and let you know what's been happening over there in our Met Chat next week. But anyways, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine. That'll still be out. And we're warming up. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back. Nice to. Well, that was a great Met Chat. Lengthy one. Again, next week, I think we'll be going over the wildfires as that still continues. I think there was a new wildfire that happened late last night. I think called the Hughes Fire next to L.A. as well. Los Angeles, that is, as well. I did want to respond. Baby Loves Toys on our YouTube stream says, we want snow in northwest Louisiana. As I kind of said in that Met Chat, I love snow. And there's some maps on social media where it kind of shows areas that have gotten snow and the amount they've gotten and picked up so far this year. And there's just this hole. There's this hole in between Arkansas and central Louisiana. We are mostly included in that hole, as you can suspect. Thank you for watching today's Met Chat. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thompson. We'll be back for one more episode here for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to go over the regional travel forecast here for the weekend. We have some rainy skies again coming here locally in the Arklatex on Sunday, but we'll see. For those of you heading out to, say, Dallas, New Orleans, or maybe trying to get away to New Orleans this weekend, Little Rock, Jackson, we'll give a forecast for those areas and see what you can expect heading into your weekend. We'll see if anything gets better, especially for New Orleans. Again, a number of those interstates are still remain closed as of now, but again, it's getting warmer around there. I do know that. We'll keep in touch, and we'll let you know what the latest forecast is for this weekend around there coming on up. And one last episode here for Friday tomorrow at 10:30. Again, thanks for watching the Met Chat today with all four of us. It'll just be me tomorrow discussing the regional travel forecast. You have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30 on Friday. You be there, be square, and most importantly, be weather aware, especially with rain coming soon. I'll talk to you later. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good Thursday and Friday Eve. Bye.